Good morning, friends. This is Mary from Rocky Mountain Gardens. Just wanted to introduce myself in case you're new here at my channel, and welcome if you are. So today I'm taking a little step back from Christmas for this week's video. I'm going to be focusing on redoing, this is kind of funny, the toilet room in my master bathroom. So I have a little separate area with a door, and it has remained very plain over the years, maybe one picture hanging on the wall. And so I decided, since I'm a maximalist, that area needs to be completely redone. You may know that my favorite color is blue, and I also love pink. So I've always been kind of in the pastel color range. But just recently I've been more drawn to green colors, so I decided to paint my toilet room a green shade. This is a Sherwin-Williams color that I'm picking. It's called Dried Thyme. Here's a look at the color on this little sample piece. And so I'll take you through while I'm painting and as I decorate, and maybe you can get some ideas if you have this situation in one of your bathrooms as well. So I hope you'll join me and really enjoy what I do with this very, very, very small space. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Let's walk in and take a look at my very plain toilet room. I have the same blue walls that are in the rest of my master bath, painted all the way up there to the ceiling. I have a window over here on this far wall, some nicks and dents in the existing paint because I haven't painted it, you can imagine, in quite a few years. But all the walls are just plain with no decorations. This is a very small room, barely large enough just for the toilet. And it's the same blue color as you can see here, although the light makes it look brighter, the sunlight shining in. And gosh, I'm a maximalist and I need more decorations in here. And I also plan to change the color, like I said. So there we are, very plain, and something has to be done, and we'll start working on that today. Here's a look at part of the rest of my master bath, and you can see it is heavily decorated. I have things in every spot that I could find room for. And this is the look that I'll be working toward in my toilet room as well. But I thought you might like to see how I decorate with my maximalist style here in the rest of this room. When painting, I always like to start by cutting in, which means I will be painting all of the corners and the little tiny areas that are too small for me to get my roller in and complete the job. So here I am doing the crease between the ceiling and the side wall. Here you can see that I have finished cutting in all around the corners, spaces around my window here, and the toilet. It's always hard to get on your hands and knees around the toilet and get it done. But guys, now I'm ready for step 2, which is to get my roller ready to go and finish this off quickly. For me, rolling on the paint is really the most fun part of this project because once you get that cutting in finished, The rolling goes so fast, and before you know it, you're completely finished. My paint is still drying. You can see the different phases of the drying going on. And I'm happy with the way this looks so far. I always like to keep a paintbrush out and ready to use so that when this has dried thoroughly in the morning, I can take a look at the walls, and if there are any spots that were missed, I will be able to take my paintbrush and touch it up very quickly to get it ready for finalizing my new decor in this little tiny room. Here's a spot that seems to be not covered perfectly, but that's a tip that I just wanted to pass on to you, because our eyes fool us sometimes and we think we've gotten a really good bit of coverage on our paint job, but then after it dries, it's more visible if we have missed a few little spots. So keep that in mind if you start a new paint job in your home. I bought these boho style curtains off Amazon, and they came quite wrinkled. So here I am getting out the old ironing board and getting them ironed up, getting rid of these ugly, ugly wrinkles. Here's a close-up look at the pattern of these new curtains. In order to avoid making holes in my walls any more than I already have, I used a tension rod up here at the top to hold my curtains in place. So I plan to tie them back to let in the light. Here's a pot that I found. It doesn't have any holes drilled in the bottom, so I'm going to be using faux greenery. But I found it thrifting. It was about $3.99, and I'm going to be hanging it up in the corner right over there. Next, I'll be adding some greenery to this hanging planter. Here's a close-up of how my hanging planter looks from top to bottom. I like it quite a bit, and it will be easy to care for, just some dusting, because of course, you know, watering plants in this area has not been the easiest for me. Here's another look at this really pretty pot. Now let's add some additional decor to complete this look. So this is going to go on top of the toilet tank. Right there. I'm going to add this small set of drawers over on this side of my windowsill. And this faux greenery piece looks like a little tree. It will go over here on this side. In the center, I'm going to add this small clock. And next, I have this cute shelf that I got at Hobby Lobby a while back. It has a wooden shelf with this distressed white fretwork here. And I already have a couple of nails here that I'm going to try to attach this to. Doesn't that shelf look awesome? Next, I have a couple of my Yadro ballerinas that I'm going to set up here, along with some more greenery, this ivy, faux ivy. And another ballerina. And next I have this beautiful Yadro piece. It's called the Dancer. Goes with my ballerinas. And I got all of these pieces when I lived in Germany. It was quite a bit less expensive to buy a Yadro when I lived in Germany, actually. So there we have that little vignette going on. Next, I got this wire piece that was a sort of a silver color, and I sprayed it with my bronze spray paint, and it came out quite nicely. I'll just turn it around for you to see it. And I'm going to be hanging it above my towel bar here. Now I have this trumpeter swan print that was done by John James Audubon, and I'm going to go ahead and hang it on a nail right here. You may have seen me refinishing this frame for this print that I found thrifting, and I'm going to be hanging it up just right below my trumpeter swan. Now on this back wall behind my door, I have a nail ready to hang up this sweet print that shows a girl, and she's teaching and talking and reading with 3 other children. Since I was a teacher and a librarian, this is perfect for my decor. You know, adding some artwork to any space really makes it warm and lived in, especially when you pick things that are for you and your taste, and you can appreciate it every day. Now I have this pretty watercolor that was done of our Colorado state flower, which is called the columbine. So I thought I'd end my video with a look at this tiny toilet room that I have here, redecorated completely. I've added a few more things you might notice. Over here, I've added a bronze toilet brush and trash can for this room. And then I've also have a small stool here with this garden ball on it. And then, of course, you saw what I put here on top of the toilet tank. And right here is a better look at my shelf and how I have decorated it, as well as my windowsill. And here is the hanging pot with greenery all the way up to the ceiling where it's attached. And you can see here, guys, that I have an empty wall. So I will be thrifting and looking for some objects to hang on this wall here, because you know I can't have an empty wall. So here's another look at the curtains that you saw me ironing. And there it is up close to the ceiling with the tension curtain rod that I used that is really working quite well. Very happy with that. So let's come around here for one look behind my door. There is the watercolor I mentioned earlier, and this cute print of children meeting with, looks like a very young teacher. Perfect for me and my background. And guys, I just want to say thank you so much for stopping by my channel today for a look at what I did with my tiny toilet room. And I really hope it has given you some ideas of how you could decorate such a small room yourself. It's very fun and rewarding to go ahead and make sure that everything is to your taste, that you can enjoy each and every day that you spend in your home. So thank you for stopping by, like I said. And also, since today is Halloween, I want to say happy Halloween to everyone who celebrates that holiday. And may you have lots of children coming to your house tonight for candy. This is Mary saying bye until my next video.